Hi guys, Spiritual Girly here. This is day 3 of us leaning into happiness. So today, I've been thinking about it this morning, um, giving yourself grace. So there are times, sometimes we can become sad or our happiness is thwarted when we are thinking of past relationships. Maybe they didn't work out. We're not talking about who was right, who was wrong. That's not the purpose of this. So just bear with me for a minute. So when we think about those or think about things that maybe we tell ourselves that we shouldn't be thinking about, we start getting very angry with ourselves. So I'm using past relationships because that's really what just comes to mind as an example. You can insert whatever you want to here. So say that you had a past relationship or a past situationship, what have you, or just a friend. Something did not work out. So what we do is we tell ourselves we're not going to think about it. We're not going to think about it. We should not be thinking about it. And we don't give ourselves grace to think about it. And what we do is we shut ourselves off to the good times too. So I'm not talking about something where it was just straight up all bad times. I'm talking about something that we neglect or we hold back, not being able to enjoy those good moments that we did enjoy. And so as an example, say if you had a bad relationship, or just not even just a relationship that didn't work out, you want to move on. You still have feelings or something is still going on. And every time you think about it, you're thinking about the good times, you stop yourself and you're like, nope, I don't want to think about that at all. I should be moving on. And you kind of beat yourself up and you're kind of down on yourself because you're thinking that relationship didn't work out. Why am I still thinking about it? Why can't I just move on? But sometimes it's okay to think about the good times. That doesn't mean you want to go back to that relationship. Even if you do, that's not the point of it, of ruminating on that. You're thinking of the good times because that's what makes your heart and your soul happy. You don't want to think about the bad times. That is fine. But what you're doing is you're not allowing yourself to feel that happiness. You are with that person because they did make you feel happy sometimes. It's okay to think about those happy times. It does not mean you want to get back with that person. It does not mean you want to try again. None of that matters. All that matters is that you are feeling happy in that moment with that thought. So what I'm telling you today for our day 3 is I want to give you permission to feel the happiness. If you are thinking about someone and you're saying, hey, I really liked when we watched TV together. We didn't talk a lot. We just sat and we cuddled and we watched TV and that made me feel good. It's okay to think about that. If that made you feel good, lean into happiness. That made you feel good. And you can say, yes, I did like doing that with that person. That made me feel really good. And leave it at that. You don't have to go down a whole winding road of unhappiness, but then this happened and that happened and they did this and they cheated on me. And the moment you start feeling yourself doing that, again, this exercise is about leaning to happiness. It's not about rehashing the past. So the moment you feel yourself veering from happiness, stop the thought. Stop it, and I want you to say, you know what? That thought does not make me happy. So I'm going to stop this thought. And then I want you to purposely think about something else that makes you happy. Doesn't have to be about the situation. If you're thinking about the situation, you're thinking about sitting on the couch watching TV with that person that made you feel good, that's great. But then you started thinking about other things of the relationship that did not make you feel good. Stop. Say, okay, well, thank you for those good memories. These new memories don't make me feel good. So I want us to continue to feel good. So I'm going to lean into happiness. It may be thinking about sunflowers or how big they get and how lovely they get and how beautiful they are. It makes you happy. So then you start thinking about those. That's it. Very simple. It's going to take some time to get into this, but that's what this exercise is all about. It's about finding your happiness and giving yourself permission to lean into happiness. So I just gave the relationship example. You can think about it with anything. If thinking about crystals makes you happy, think about crystals. Go to the websites and start looking up crystals and researching crystals. Can you wash them? Can you set them out in the sun? Can you carry them around? Whatever. I mean, fantasy football makes you happy. By all means, do the fantasy football. That makes you happy. Look at your stats. Do whatever. TikTok makes you happy. Watch TikTok. Laugh. Be joyous. The moment something does not make you happy, it may take some time because then you may find that you're like going down a slippery slope. So we're going to give ourselves grace in that area too. We aren't going to beat ourselves up because we've just spent 15 minutes going, spiraling. What we're going to do is we're going to say, oh, I noticed that. Good for me for noticing it. Now let's switch gears because that thought doesn't make me happy. Let's switch gears and go into what makes me happy. Okay, so today's day 3, and what we're doing is we're just giving ourselves grace, and we are thinking about all things that make us happy, even if it's things that we tell ourselves we should not be thinking about, or we beat ourselves up for it making us happy. No, that's not what we're doing. If it makes us happy, we're going to think about it. The moment it stops making us happy is when we're switching gears. Okay, so good luck to everybody.